Well, Remy Ma's sister was arrested today for a similar situation that Remy Ma was in around 07. Let's get into that. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, and if you want to run ads and invest in your career, okay, jordantowermedia@gmail.com. Well, we're talking Remy Ma today. Unfortunately, her sister was arrested today for doing something similar that Remy Ma did back in 07. In 07, Remy Ma had an issue with her friend for stealing some money or something out of her purse. And as Nicki Minaj famously said in a verse, she said, "You shot your friend over a stack. You left your son for that?" That's what she said. So anyways, Remy Ma, she has to deal with her own family issues today, just like Nicki Minaj has had forced to deal with her family issues with her brother. Everyone has their family issues. So her sister was arrested for spraying a car with bullets in Raleigh and running over a bleeding victim. Vicious. Vicious. She's 27 years old. Her name's Remeesha, and she's been arrested on charges. She shot the gun multiple times into a car of 3 women, then hit one of the women with a vehicle. Reportedly, the 3 women were fleeing in ensuing panic. Police said the car hit the woman who had been shot. Remeesha Alicia Blount, 27, was arrested at the apartment complex on Monday night, shortly before midnight. This happened on Friday in a parking lot. So I don't know if she was arrested today. Was she arrested today? Monday night. So President's Day. Okay, so unfortunately for her family, a magistrate ordered Blount held without bail on a decision that she either would be unlikely to keep a court date or would be a danger to the community if she was freed. She's also pending charges from some earlier arrests. Damn. Include assault with a deadly weapon, shooting a gun inside semi limits, and assault by pointing a gun. So damn, she's a savage. She's getting it in. Okay, so Remy Ma just, she came home a few years ago serving 7 years for shooting her friend. I think it was 10 years. I forget how many years it was. Maybe it was 10 years. No, it was 7 years. It was 7 years. So yeah, she shot her friend over $1,000. She's home now. She's commented on this before. She's basically made comments.
Why would I shoot somebody over? Like, why anything? Like, if people were like, if you jacking, oh, she shot her friend over money. Well, like, how you think I feel about you? I don't know from nowhere, don't give 2 fucks about. Y'all ever see me in person? I want one of y'all to try it.
I don't know, man. But what do you guys think about this?
For me to quickly Timberland chucker, dead in the middle of ground zero. I'm like a superhero, female Joe Pesci, Al Pacino, modern day Robert De Niro.
Remy Smith, a.k.a. Remy Ma, was born May 30th, 1980 and grew up in Castle Hill Projects in the Bronx. She grew up close to where Big Pun lived, and this would eventually set her on a promising career path. She was forced to take on the responsibility of raising her brothers and sisters because her parents weren't always there. She wrote poetry and freestyle with her friends in her free time, and eventually DMX once visited her Castle Hill Projects with Def Jam, and they had a rap battle stage to showcase local talent. And when she battled, she gained attention of people from Big Pun's crew. She was eventually brought to meet Big Pun, where she freestyled and obviously impressed him, even though he didn't show it at the time, because he featured her on many tracks and brought her around after that. After she freestyled for him, she was invited back a few days later, where she was asked to braid his hair before he brought her to meet Fat Joe of Terror Squad, which he was a part of, at a Jennifer Lopez video. She would always be with Big Pun, recording in studio, and was rising to fame, collaborating with big artists like Big L, R. Kelly, and many more. She was featured on 2 songs on Big Pun's Yeah Baby, but unfortunately shortly after it was released, the hip-hop legend Big Pun passed February 2000 due to being overweight and having heart conditions. Remy Ma says she was very shocked when she heard about this because she had just been with him and he was bragging about how much weight he was losing and he was on, a path to a better life. Fat Joe brought her quickly under his wing since she was already Terror Squad. And in 2001, Fat Joe featured Remy Ma on 4 songs on his album Jealous One Still Envy. Most notable that we know is Thuggin' Remix featuring R. Kelly. In 2002, she was featured on 2 songs off the album Loyalty by Fat Joe. Remy Ma was still on the battle scene at the legendary Fight Club around this time, and everyone remembers her infamous battle with Lady Luck, where she won. Okay.
Your face off in front of the camera. See if you can plug that hole with your bitch ass bandana. And I still got my jewels like my name was Santana.
She got a beef with Foxy Brown over battling because she challenged Foxy Brown to a battle, and Foxy Brown felt like she was beyond that. And then Foxy felt like that was disrespectful, the way she was talking to her. So these two would like take jabs back and forth at each other in like magazine articles. But right after this, 2004 arrived, and this is where Lean Back came out. And this song blew through the charts, topping Billboard for Hot 100 for 3 weeks. And Remy Ma was the breakout artist on this track, obviously. It impressed everybody. She was spitting. This song was so big that they had a remix with Mace, Lil Jon, and Eminem. And obviously we know the song was produced by legendary producer Scott Storch. This remix song was on Fat Joe's album, but the original song was on a Terror Squad album that was released in 2004, and it did okay. In 2005, she got a solo deal with Steve Rifkin through Fat Joe, and she was slated to drop her album in 2006. Around this time, she was making her rounds on the DVD scene, the Smacks, the Come Ups, Cocaine Cities, and she collaborated on a song in studio with Papoose through mutual friend K Slay for his album. He's a huge mixtape DJ and radio DJ in New York City on Hot 97 and Sirius. These two would start a romance that would lead to marriage years later. Now in 2005, Nicki Minaj was on the rise and she was coming up through the Come Up DVD. In one freestyle, many think she was coming for Remy Ma when she said, "Tell that bitch with the crown to run it like Chris Brown," because Remy Ma was kind of like, she was the top female at this time. And then she said 3 rounds, won 3 rounds, I'm gonna need 100,000. So she's basically challenging her to a battle.
Tell that bitch with the crown to run it like Chris Brown. She won 3 rounds, I'ma need 100,000.
Just as Remy did with Foxy. But later they would become cool at a Come Up release party. A Come Up DVD release party. It was the Jadakiss DVD. In 2006, her album Something About Remy dropped, and it didn't really do so well. And she blamed Fat Joe for this. Failures, not enough was done, and you know, they would take shots at each other. That relationship was really tarnished behind this. Remy was taking shots at him, he was taking shots at her. It got real messy. He let her go out of her contract.
She has a trial coming up. I think she needs to take that a lot more serious. She has a kid that has to hear her on the radio talking all this buffoonery on the radio, where I think she should just grow up, and if she's gonna be a rapper, make some hit records and stop trying to take shots at people. I've done nothing for this girl but take her out the projects and put her in Jersey and get her Beamer and Benzes and put her on hit records. I really honestly swear to God, swear to my kids, to my brother Tone Montana, to whatever, I really don't know what's her problem with me, for real. She said let me go, I let her go, you know.
I live in New Jersey. I have a house in New Jersey because I have a house in New Jersey. I don't have 7, 8 cars. That's 3. That's 3. Well, thanks to the New York State Police, anything I ever did for him, anything he ever did for me, I did for him as well. Like, we one hand wash the other. We helped each other. He really feel like in his mind that he did so much. Like, people keep forgetting that he's the rebound guy. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? That's me. The house in New Jersey. I don't have 7, 8 cars. That's 3. He wasn't in the deal with me. Like, a Punch is the one that, like, it ain't even no wow. Like, it's to keep it 100 official on some G shit. Like, Punch is the one that came like, yo, Ren, this is what it is. Here, you can have your own song on my double platinum. And I'm like, Punch went double platinum. Like, Joe, I couldn't even meet Joe. Joe wasn't in the studio with me. After Punch passed, rest in peace, like, that's when Joe was like, you know, everybody was calling me, like, yo, what label signed with that? Joe was like, yo, stay with us. This is the plan. You know, we're going to put out my album, then we're going to put out this album. Like, he's sitting there acting like nobody ain't never helped him. Like, who do you call when you need to rhyme the word? to rhyme with something at 3 in the morning. Bam, what rhymes with this? Oh, I need a husband. It's like, come on, don't act like I ain't never do nothing. This is the part that gets me mad. When it got crazy to where Lean Back started popping, where we was getting 80,000, 100,000 a show, your man was trying to pocket the whole thing and pay me $3,000.
That's
what am I?
And also around this time, she started to beef with Little Kim. She was talking about Little Kim. Little Kim had just gotten 5 mics in The Source, and she said, you know, I'm way hotter than her. My songs are better. She doesn't deserve 5 mics. And then Little Kim started taking shots back at her, calling her tranny, saying this can't be beef. She has too much testosterone. That's a man.
You know, my niggas have, they have debates about it. They be like, yo, son, on a hard night, son. On a hard night, who you running up in? Remy man or a transvestite? Like, all the females that come in the game, as soon as they come in the game, they gotta take shots at me. It all started when I got the 5 mics.
Wow.
She on the radio talking reckless, you know, fuck that, son. My shit hotter than hers. Come on, ma, I do this. This is what I do. Biggie crowned me Queen B. You can't take that away from me.
Because I'm a female, that's a man.
You realize you around a bunch of homos? Like, if I ask my dude, like, if you gonna pay her or transvestite, my dudes is not, they gonna rather beat up. They rather die before they play with trans. They're never gonna say I was like,
When I see her, she a goner. When I see her, road is born. I'm on her, I'm a stomper when I see her.
And that didn't end well. But then in 2007, Remy would go to jail for a shooting that took place after a club at like 4 a.m. Her and her friend, Makita Barnes Joseph, they got into a fight in the back of a car over missing a couple $1,000s from Remy's purse. She shot her in the torso. Then she went to jail for assault, having an illegal weapon, and coercion. Remy and Papoose got married while she was in jail. Papoose would hold her down for 6 years until she came home from Bedford Hills. When she came home, her and Nikki got kind of cool. Like, they talked to each other. She saluted Nikki. But eventually, some beef was cooking up. But during this time, Fat Joe and her got cool. Fat Joe brought her back under the wing. They released an album which had All the Way Up on it, Money Showers, and Cooking. All of them were hits, but All the Way Up took Remy all the way back to being Remy Ma, okay? Now, around this time, she was getting her confidence back. She started taking subliminal shots at Nikki on a Funk Flex freestyle, the Fresher Wait a Minute, and she would take shots through Instagram Live and everything, and eventually Nikki responded with her own subliminals on Gucci Mane's Make Love and Jason Derulo Swalla. Then Remy released a clear diss track over Nas' Ether. She called it Sheether. This was produced by Ron Browns. Then Nikki fired back a few months later. Now, around this time, I gotta say, New York radio personalities were rooting for the end of Nicki Minaj. So, because they were championing this Sheether and discrediting everything about Nicki. They were like, oh, it's over, it's over. Then Nicki releases No Frauds, was a good diss, but they weren't really embracing it. And to this day, Remy Ma still disses Nicki Minaj. She teamed up with her arch nemesis, Lil' Kim, and made a song called Wake Me Up because Lil' Kim has had beef with Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj, but her most recent beef was with Nicki Minaj, so she teamed up with a common enemy to go against another enemy, and they released Wake Me Up, and now she has another song out with Chris Brown called Melanin Magic that is definitely going at Nicki still, but she is going to be releasing her solo album sometime this year, and you know, we'll have to see how this all develops, but this is some history on Remy Ma, and I'll check you guys on the next video.